Meanwhile, President Trump says he intends to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin as soon as next week, but only if it's tied to a peace deal with Ukraine.
Alexandra Hoff is live at the White House with the latest for us. Hey, Alexandra.
Hey, good morning to you. This morning, the Kremlin is stating that preparations for this bilateral meeting are already underway, again, with that target date for this meeting being sometime next week. Now, they say a venue has been selected in principle and have been agreed upon. That's according to Putin aide Yuri Yushakov. Now, that venue is going to be kept under wraps for now. This sit-down request was prompted by President Putin, who made the ask during a meeting yesterday with Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, where great progress was made.
Now President Putin wants to meet. You know what? That's the difference between a weak leader, aka President Biden, and a strong leader, aka President Trump. President Putin did not respect Biden. I mean, we understand why. Biden spent over 4 years sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. After 4 years, what was the result? Absolutely no progress, because Biden had no end goal in mind. He was just wasting the American taxpayers' money, hoping to get some kickbacks, right? Now, President Trump understands, listen, we have to hit Russia where it hurts. Follow the money. Follow the money.
We had some very good talks with President Putin today. And there's a very good chance that we could be ending the round, ending the end of that road. That road was long and continues to be long, but there's a good chance that there will be a meeting very soon.
Now, back on July 28th, President Trump had given Vladimir Putin a revised 10 to 12-day deadline for a ceasefire in their continued assault on Ukraine. Now, 10 days was marked today. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told Fox Business he thinks there's an opportunity for the president to have a meeting that includes both President Putin and Zelensky to, quote, close this thing out. But it won't be without concessions.
If there's going to be a deal to end this war, it'll have to require the president to come in at the end and close on it. So obviously, anytime you're going to make a deal, there's going to have to be concessions. There's going to have to be concessions by the Russians and concessions by the Ukrainians, of course, as well.
I don't trust President Zelensky. If you look at this man, all he cares about is, I want Ukraine to join NATO. No, sir, this will never happen. And us, the American people, we have absolutely no reason to support this foolish idea. And we understand how complicated that would be for Ukraine to be a member of NATO.
Yeah, and the president is holding on to some skepticism as this potential meeting approaches. He has voiced frustration in dealing with President Putin in the last few weeks. And he said yesterday he has been disappointed before with this one. Guys.
All right.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
So this is interesting because
Putin was successful to play President Biden for 4 years while continuing the war in Ukraine, while not even having strong sanctions on Russia. That's how weak Biden was. Now, Putin thought he was going to be able to do the same thing with President Trump, just played along and then hoping there's never strong sanctions. And now Trump is saying, no, this is not happening. This is not happening. Putin thought it was the same weak leadership President Biden had. President Trump is not the same guy.
the president has been a fair broker. He's criticized Zelensky when he didn't think he was negotiating in good faith. And recently, he's really come down hard on Putin. He gave him 30 days, and now he brought it down to 10. And what the president continues to say is that Putin was stringing him along, that he would tell him he wants peace, wants to do a deal in the day, and by night, he was bombing and going after civilians. I would say that this is it. If Putin doesn't, if he takes this meeting with the president and a deal doesn't come, all hell is going to be brought down on him and his country from an economic standpoint, and he's going to be giving Zelensky every weapon that he's asking for.
100%. And if you see President Trump is willing to put tariffs on India, and we have a good relationship with India, just so President Trump can get to Russia, that means it's real.
The White House says that Russia was the one that wanted this meeting, and it sounds like Donald Trump is agreeing to it in the coming days, where this meeting will take place. The last time they met in the first administration, they met in Helsinki. And curious where they would meet. This one would be Switzerland. You
Maybe
suggested
Qatar. Qatar, yeah, but we don't know. And
Listen, wherever they're gonna meet, we want the Secret Service to use their A game to protect President Trump, because I don't trust this. Wherever they're gonna meet, I don't trust them. We want the Secret Service to use the A game to make sure President Trump comes back very well and safe.
Kremlin statement, they said in principle locations identified, but we have yet to find out the details. But let's be clear about one thing. President Trump goes in with meetings like this with such high stakes, very clear-eyed about what the end goal is. And if Vladimir Putin doesn't understand that, and that end goal is the end of this war, then it is going to go south, as you mentioned, Lawrence, because you look at the steps already President Trump's taken, which is placing a 25% tariff on India. India is the second largest purchaser of Russian oil. He's going after Russia's war machine in how he's funding it. And we spoke with former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo a little earlier this morning, and he talked about, make no mistake, President's threat to ratchet things up is real.
And this is real leadership in full display. You start with the end goal in mind. What is the intention of this meeting? And President Trump is very loud and clear. He said, listen, the end goal here, the war must end. This is the end goal. If this is not on the table, don't even waste my time.
We should make no mistake about it. The days ahead will be interesting because the new tariffs come into place, tariffs on those who are purchasing Russian oil, the very thing that's continued to fuel and fund Vladimir Putin's terror campaign against the Ukrainian civilians in Kyiv and all around that country. And second, we'll see if he continues to launch missiles there in the days that are ahead in the preparation for the meeting, and if it really comes off, if there really is a basis, which President Trump said is a condition. Look, I'm confident President Trump will continue to ratchet up the pressure. It's going to work if it's enforced, and I'm confident President Trump doesn't put sanctions in place without enforcing them. This was the failure of the Biden administration. For 4 years, we were told they put sanctions on Russia and this was going to bring Putin to his knees, but they simply didn't enforce the rules. I think President Trump will.
Would be great if there were a trilateral meeting at some point where you had Zelensky and Putin, as long as it's safe, with Donald Trump to try to broker a ceasefire.
I don't think it's necessary. I'm going to disagree with you now. We don't need Zelensky. We don't need Zelensky, but because we know Zelensky, he's a dictator. He's a dictator. He wants, or I'm not going to say he wants the war to keep going, but he definitely does not want to leave power. He does not want to have an election in Ukraine. This man he was a comedian, somehow got to the presidency, and now the war has been going on. He wants to be the Putin of Ukraine, you know. So I don't think it's necessary to have him in the room.
Заинтересованность была проявлена с обеих сторон. Кто там какое слово сказал первым, это уже не имеет значения. У нас много друзей, которые готовы нам помочь организовать мероприятия подобного рода. Вот один из друзей, президент Объединенных Арабских Эмиратов. Я думаю, что мы решим, но это было бы одним из подходящих, вполне подходящих мест. Я уже говорил неоднократно, что я ничего в целом не имею против, это возможно, но для этого должны быть созданы определенные условия. А вот для создания таких условий, к сожалению, пока далеко.
Yeah, anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You guys can see I've not been consistent. I've been sick for the past 2 weeks, man. I've been sick, but I'm feeling better now. My voice is still rusty, but I continue to drink a lot of water. You know what I mean? As I continue to bring more and better content. And I'll see you guys in the next video.